Hello. I just wanted to get on here and share something that has been on my mind a lot lately. And I originally wasn't gonna talk too much about it, but in the last few days, I have felt like I should. And by the by the end, I will explain why I think I should, and it might not be the right reason, but um, anyway. So um, last few months, I've kind of been having some health concerns that started. Well, the initial was, I guess, back in April, where I would say the first episode took place. Um, but I haven't told too many people, but I feel compelled or whatever to kind of share that. Um, but I don't have answers yet, which is kind of why I didn't feel like I needed to talk about it or share with too many people. But when I do talk to people about it, it's been really encouraging for them to kind of know. So basically, in April, I have always struggled with energy levels. So to say like I have had been very, very exhausted is not like something unusual. I've kind of always struggled with that. But leading up to April, I was increasingly exhausted to almost to where I would not feel functional, like where it was hard for me to function. And um, I didn't think anything much about it again because I was kind of used to exhaustion. But there was a day in April where Jesse had come home and I was feeling really tired, and we were talking, and I think I just started like tearing up, and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I just feel so tired." And so he was like, "Well, why don't you go take a nap?" So I came and laid down and rested for a while, and he had later brought in some coffee and some popcorn, which is my favorite snack. So I was eating that, and I remember looking back on it now because I'm trying to um, look back and think of like signs of things. I'm trying to like put things together. So looking back at it now, after things have happened, can remember that I was staring at the bag of popcorn and just like staring at the words and eating really, really slowly, um, in kind of a weird, cloudy kind of a way, which I didn't think then very much. So anyway, so after that, I got up and just went to the kitchen and was kind of making dinner, started to make dinner. And while I was in the kitchen, I started to feel like I was leaning to my right. I was like, that's kind of weird. So then I was like moving around, and I went to my room, got something, and went back to the kitchen and was still feeling off balance. So then I went into the living room and was going to ask where the step ladder was because I couldn't find it. And I just kind of blurted out, like, I was like, I like grabbed my head and I was like, I feel like I'm going to pass out. And I immediately turned and walked to the room and like laid down on my bed. I'm gonna give the short version of everything that was happening then. I just all of a sudden, like my mind, it was almost like my mind went like cloudy and dark, and my I remember saying over and over, I was like, I feel like my brain's not working. My brain's not working. The words I was trying that I was thinking about was not really what was coming out, and it was getting very frustrating, and I was saying my brain's not working, and Jesse was there, and I remember thinking pretty immediately, first of all, it was like very weird. I remember thinking very immediately, like, if I allow myself to go to sleep right now, I'm like not going to wake up. But then was weirded out by that thought, so I didn't tell that to Jesse, but so I was thinking, oh my gosh, like this is like really crazy and weird. So he was talking to me. He was going in and out because I had started dinner, so he was trying to go in and out to get dinner going, get the boys to help with dinner, but also trying to like keep them from coming in here because I have this weird, like, I don't like like I've always tried to not show them if something's wrong because I don't want them freaking out. So he was kind of doing that too. So anyway, he was coming in and out, back and forth, and I would ask him questions like, did I just yell for you? Like, was I yelling for you? Did you hear me yell for you? Because I was pretty sure like I was just yelling for you. And he was like, no, you were not doing that. I mean, you might have said my name, but maybe I didn't hear it. But so then I was like, okay, trying to figure out what is actually happening, what is not happening. So I was like praying for the, like, honestly, I was like praying for the Lord. I was like, Lord, please just let me like live to raise my kids, which sounds dramatic, but like that's literally what it felt like. But what was also weird is I was begging him, like I was like don't take me into anything, don't take me into anything, because I was feeling like I wouldn't be believed, and then like it would be like, oh well, you're just going crazy and nothing's actually happening. That was like what I was thinking and afraid, which I, looking back now, I like really wish I had gone in. Anyway, so then like my words were very slow coming out, but I was wanting him to keep talking to me so I could stay like awake or whatever. So I would come and like the words would come really slowly, and then my mouth started getting like really dry. And I remember I just started smacking my mouth, and I had like tried to eat some crackers because we were like trying to figure out all the things that might be wrong. Like, oh, maybe you just need to like have some crackers or something. I don't know. So I tried, and my mouth was so dry, like it stuck to the roof of my mouth and my throat. And then I thought like I was gonna like die from gagging. And I was like literally like taking my hand and like trying to get it out of my mouth and from my tongue. And so then he was like, oh, here, take this water. So I took the water, swished it around, which got it off, and I was able to drink it. Anyway, so that was about like that night. It took, I feel like it was a few hours. Went to bed and then woke up the next day and was still like really out of it. I couldn't find necessarily like the right words to explain things, and my mind felt weird. And I was really tired, and I slept most of the day. And it took probably about 3 or 4 days for me to feel like I could like talk normally again, at least to some degree. Anyway, so that started a journey of like going to the doctors and trying to figure out what was going on. And then there was another episode. Because I didn't go to the doctor the first one, I was like, okay, if anything happens again, I'm going to go to the doctor or go to the ER. And then the next one happened was I started getting really sharp pains in my chest, and my left hand started going numb, and my jaw and my ears were getting tingly. So I was like trying to calm myself down. I was like, okay, let's give it a minute. I'm going to walk around, see if I can get the circulation. Like maybe something weird is with the circulation, because like my first instinct is to not go to the doctor like ever. So I'm trying to get better about that myself. But it was also freaky, the first one, so it scared me enough to rethink my thinking on that. So, but nothing was, it wasn't going away. So I was like, okay. So Colton drove me into the ER, did a bunch of, like, they did the EKG, they did a chest x-ray, they did all these things, and basically were like, well, nothing's happening. And so then I felt like a big idiot, and I was like, well, this is what my fear was, is like, because I had gone to the doctor 7 years ago for the same thing, where I was feeling flutters in my chest, and I went to like, I think they to 2 different ones, and they're like, well, you're young and you're healthy. I don't know what would be. So I think I was having that in my mind the first night why I didn't want to go, because I felt like really dumb. That when I was doing that. Anyway. So anyway, it has started some like going to the doctors, and I had gone to the cardiologist because of my chest things. That's what they wanted to send me to first, but they did the heart monitor for a week and there was nothing on that. So I wanted to make sure my symptoms, because I still was having problems with balance. I feel generally clumsy sometimes, like when I put things on the counter, it's like it's just I don't know, it feels clumsy. I feel like I can't, like, I feel like sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I have trouble with words and they come out weird. I will say a word, I will be thinking of a word, but another word comes out and I can tell it in my brain and my mind. And I feel like sometimes my talking is not like it used to be. And I can tell a difference because I know what is in my brain and I can tell what it feels like in my mouth. Like, when you talk, you can tell what it feels like even facially. So I can tell that something was weird. I also feel, just like I said, like, oh, and after a while for that, I was sleeping like 2 hours, taking 2 hour naps, which is not like me. I can never take naps. And I was just finding myself like needing to take 2 hour naps. And I did do some blood work that found that I have very high inflammation and sensitivity to gluten and dairy, which can cause inflammation. So in taking those out, my energy had started to feel better. So anyway, so then I was going to the general practitioner, and I wanted to make sure like all my symptoms were listed out, and I got a very organized piece of paper, and I bullet pointed, and I put numbers on it, and I put sections and subsections of my symptoms and how long they would happen and when they started happening and all this. It was very detailed report basically, and I gave it to my general practitioner, and then he was like, oh, well, this, first of all, he really appreciated it, which made me feel good because I was wondering if he would not like that I did that. So it was nice that he was like, oh, this is very nice and helpful. And as he was reading through it, he was like, well, this actually, instead of heart problems, this sounds more like partial complex seizures. Which I don't have seizures, so that was strange. So, but because of that, he gave me a referral to a neurologist. So I had an appointment July 28th, but it got canceled, and I'm supposed to go. They moved it to August 28th. So all of that to say is I still don't have answers. I know I have high inflammation, but based on the accounts of the blood work and the doctor and my symptoms and the list and all that, basically I don't have a definitive because I haven't gotten the brain image yet. Hopefully I get one, but anyway, it sounds like it could be inflammation to partial complex seizures, which apparently are not the convulsing kind. It can be more of a loss of consciousness, and different things happening, like the smacking of the lips or the tingly feelings, or like you can't think of words and you can't speak right, and it happens just for a moment and then it goes away. But it would still be a problem, because if that is what it is, which I don't know yet because I haven't gone to the neurologist, what I'm thinking is, okay, I don't have seizures. I've never had seizures. So why am I having seizures now if that's what it is? So I'm basically in this state of, I know I don't feel right, and I feel weird, and I don't know why, and I don't know what it is. I will have moments where like for a while when I took the dairy and the gluten out, I got really excited because I was not having to sleep for 2 hours every day, and I was feeling better with that. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe that's all it is. But then it kind of feels like it plateaued, and there's certain things that I still know are weird. And so I battle with that. Anyway, so I also I've told people who are in like my immediate people who see me on a regular basis, who know, but typically I didn't want to share because I don't have an answer yet. But for some reason I kept feeling like, okay, do video teachings. I used to do those sometimes, and when I was directing Challenge B, which I homeschool, and there's a program that I do, which is classical conversations, and I did Challenge Level B, which in that one we did mock trial and reasoning. And when I did that, I did videos for my students because in the hours that we had in the day, I couldn't help all the way. So I started doing videos of me like writing and working out step by step the problems and sending it to my class. Well, on the director page, I started sending it to the director page too, because people had questions on there, and I was like, here, I've worked out some for my students. If you want to look at it, you can look at it too. And they were saying that it helped them a lot. So they actually were asking for more videos, but I didn't have the time to keep up with the videos in the same amount of time that we were working through it in the class. So in my head, I was like, well, I would like eventually to do videos for this, for the students and for other directors, because I just really thought it was super cool. Like, I enjoyed it myself. So when I started feeling like to do teaching, and the reason why I say I feel like maybe I should do the videos, because like maybe it will help, the words coming better again, because like I'm trying to think of ways to like, okay, how can I get my brain working in the right way? And if I'm thinking of things that like I really enjoyed and that I was already kind of doing, that's why I was like, okay, well maybe that's what I could do, as far as teaching videos or whatever. But then I got concerned, because I was like, well, sometimes I feel like, and maybe no one else can tell, but I can feel like my mouth is like, I feel like I'm talking differently, and maybe I say the wrong word sometimes, or maybe the word gets smushed together kind of strange, or maybe Jesse has to finish the word for me. That's what I feel like happens sometimes. And I was like, so if I'm doing that, am I really helping if like I am doing this? And then I was like, well, I could explain what's happening first, but then I was like, well, no, I don't want to do that, because then people, I don't have an answer. It could be something as simple as, oh, you have brain inflammation, stop eating certain things and it'll go away. And like, oh, that sounds dramatic, why am I getting into all of this? But I also didn't want people thinking like, okay, well, maybe you're just doing it for pity or attention, which I'm not. And so I was having all these thoughts as to why not to, when I was feeling like I should. And then I went to a conference this weekend with my daughter, and the person literally speaking was like, oh, I have chemo brain and words sometimes come out wrong. And she was still up there, and I remember thinking like, I didn't think she was looking for attention or pity at all. Actually, I think it's great she's still up there. So then I was like, well, wait, why would I think that for myself? So it was very encouraging, actually. And so I just feel like, and then there were some other things that happened that kind of was like, okay, I need to like just do what I feel like I need to do, and I don't even really know why or whatever, but to just do it. And anyway, so that's kind of what's been happening, what's been going on, and it feels weird to talk about it, and it feels weird to do a video about it. But I, for whatever reason, feel like I was supposed to, and I guess this is like a preliminary. So like to do videos, and if it feels like I don't know, like not talking right, like to not let that be a hindrance, but to explain it or anyway. So, but also because there are people that I'm not close proximity to that aren't aware of what's been going on, and maybe you would want to know too. But so anyway, here it is. So this is way longer than I thought it was going to be. I actually had to clear space out of my phone in order to even do this video. So sorry it was long, but I mean, if people didn't care, they weren't listening to. If you've gotten this far, I guess have to apologize to you. So anyway, but yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, still no. So I mean, prayers, I guess. I mean, definitely for health and answers. I just really would like to know what's going on. If it's just inflammation, or something else. And I think the not knowing part is annoying, and especially knowing that I don't feel right. But anyway, so there's that. And as far as videos, like I'm still trying to figure out the video, like teaching videos or whatever. But I just wanted to do the first step that I felt like needed to be done, which is this step, and then I guess after that figure out all the other. But anyway, so yeah, that is it. I hope y'all have a good rest of your day.